Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. Today we're gonna talk about commendations because TU20 gave us some new commendations as well. And with the update TU20.1, even more commendations were added to the game. These commendations are for the Incursion and for Countdown. But what if I told you, you can do a bunch of them, almost all of them, solo? Yes, sir. Especially the Countdown one. There's only one that you cannot do solo. And for the Incursion, there are a few you can do solo. But there are some you can do by yourself. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. I'm gonna show you how to do them quickly and pretty damn easy. So let's dive in. So let's start with the first commendations, and we will go into commendations and then we will go to our combat commendations. Starting with the Countdown commendation, and this is the Countdown Cool Award. And you need to fix the cooling tower's cooling system under 5 minutes from the start of the objective. It's pretty easy, so go to Countdown, go to Normal, create Countdown, and then start the countdown by yourself. You don't need teammates. If you have friends, of course that helps out, but this is all about solo. Then go into Countdown, and when you load it into Countdown, open up your map and see if cooling tower is the main objective. If that isn't the objective, just open up your map, go to social, click on your name and leave Countdown and start that countdown again. Rinse and repeat until the cooling tower is your main objective. When it's your main objective, take out the other two objectives first. You can probably do that pretty damn fast in like 2 or 3 minutes. And then go over to the main objective. The moment that you walk in, you have 5 minutes to complete this. On normal, it's pretty easy. I would go for example, an armor generation build to make sure that you get that armor back, because it can be a little bit wild, especially with that cooling system going on. That steam will attack your health as well, so make sure that you keep yourself alive. If you keep yourself alive, this is pretty easy to do, or at least you can do this around 4 minutes. If I can do it, you can do it. When you completed this, then bam, the Countdown Cool Award will pop up and you'll have your first commendation cleared. And then for our next combat commendation, this is the second one that was added to the game, and this is for the Incursion. Eliminate 10 hostiles during an Incursion Paradise Lost while you're under a status effect. Again, you can do this solo. Go to your Incursion, start the Incursion solo, and of course they will hit a little bit harder. We cannot put it on a normal difficulty than we can with Countdown, so this might take a little bit longer depending, but look at the enemies that are a red or a purple bar. For me, I chose to dive down on the right side, and then what you want to do is get a build rocking with, for example, that foam launcher. Shoot that enemy until he's almost dead, foam yourself, and then switch over to your gun and beam him down, and rinse and repeat. You can do 1 enemy per run, or you can do 2 enemies per run. You can try to do even more per run, but what I usually did is just took out 2 of the enemies. I got 2 people under status effect, took them out. I just let the ads take me out and then just run into the Incursion again and rinse and repeat. Make sure that you aim at a red bar or at a purple bar, almost down, foam yourself again, take him out, and then again rinse and repeat until you have this unlocked. Like I said, you can do this solo. It might take a little bit longer, but yeah, I took it down in like, what was it, like 20 to 25 minutes. So again, if I can do it, you can do it as well. And then we're going over to the tactical commendations. Again, there are 2 new ones, one from Countdown, one from the Incursion. Starting with the Countdown, and we only have to neutralize 25 shocked hostiles. So whenever you go into the countdown to do these commendations, make sure that you equip your Saint Elmo's if you have it, because we all know that talent will give you a full magazine of shock ammo, and then just make sure whenever you shock somebody, take them out. You will get this pretty damn quickly. Just make sure that if you go into countdown to go for the other commendations, that you use your Saint Elmo's. That's straight up the best way to take down shocked enemies, and you could even get your shock traps activated as well. Throw them down. When they walk through it, they are shocked, and take them out. And again, it's pretty easy commendations to get, and you can do it solo. And then for the tactical incursion commendation, we need to eliminate enemies using 5 different skills during an incursion. Again, dive into the incursion solo, start it, and then make sure that you have different amounts of skills. And for this, I use my crit skill build that you can see in the background right now, or of course, check out this video if you want a little bit more details about the build, and then of course switch your skills. So the 5 skills I used were the striker drone, the normal turret, the sniper turret, the bleed hive, and the oxidizer chem launcher. Those were the 5 ones that I used, and just again run into the start, put your skills down or shoot that skills on the enemies. You can still shoot at them, but make sure that the last bullet or that last damage from the cloud will be the last damage it does before that enemy gets taken out. And again, easy. You can do it in a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and you will get this commendation. And then jumping over to our next commendation, and that's the discovery commendation. And for countdown, we can get the countdown counter. Deactivate every type of countermeasure in countdown. Unique countermeasures deactivated. So what you can do now, again, you can do it solo, jump into a countdown, create a countdown solo, preferably on normal, and then just run around and make sure that you deactivate all these countermeasures. Whenever you deactivate that 3rd countermeasure, just open up your map, go to social, stand on your name, and leave countdown again until you have all the unique countermeasures deactivated. You can also go into commendation and track it on the screen. It will pop up on your screen wherever you have set it on in your UI, and then you can track a little bit better which countermeasures you still have to deactivate. And you can do this in a group as well, but it's gonna be a lot tougher. And why? Because if you're running around with 8 people, only that agent that deactivates the countermeasure will have this counted towards his or her commendation. So if you run around with a group and you personally do not deactivate that countermeasure, it will not count. I repeat, it will not count for your commendation. So that's why the countdown counter is the easiest to do while solo. And then we of course have another discovery commendation, and that's the Incursion Collector. Find all the collectibles in the Incursion Paradise Lost. Most of y'all probably already have it. When you log in, it's probably already gifted to you, or you just still have to claim it. If you didn't do this yet, I will pop up a video on the screen right now showing you how to get all the collectibles within the game. I will not dive into all of these extra details, because then the video is probably gonna take a half an hour, and nobody wants that. So for the Incursion Collector, you only need to find all the collectibles within the Incursion, and you can't really do this solo. And then for the teamwork commendations, we have 2 new ones as well. Again, for the Incursion and for Countdown. The one from Countdown is the only one that we cannot do solo. And why? Because this is Countdown Supply. Supply your teammates 20 times by sharing items from your inventory during Countdown. So if you are in a team, or if you're running around with a friend, you can do this with 2 people then, of course, as well. Just run into that countdown and pick up everything that will be dropped. then make sure that you meet up with your friend or meet up with your teammate and just drop stuff for that other agent. You can only drop 5 items at a time, so drop 5 items. Make sure that your friend or your teammate picks up those 5 pieces and then drop until you have dropped 20 pieces. So 4 loot piles, make sure that your teammate picks them up and he does exactly the same for you, and bang, you will have your countdown supply commendation. And then for the teamwork incursion commendation that was added, it's the perfect Paradise Lost, and this is gonna be a little bit tougher for most of y'all. We still like to help people within the incursions live on stream. We do it here and there. Just jump in and ask for some help and we see if we can connect you to a team, or of course do it ourselves, because why is this so hard? We need to complete an incursion run without any of the 4 team members being downed while not using a medkit. So this is a flawless incursion without using medkits. So your healer needs to be on point and you just need to make sure that you will not go down and will not use your medkits. Even the insta medkit that only gives you that 25% will count as a medkit. You cannot use anything from healing except from skills. And then usually we just make sure that our healer is on point and make sure that he only looks at us. And you can even go into a few different builds to make that team synergy a little bit better. For example, with that tardigrade, so if you lose your armor, then you will get that extra bonus armor in that gives you a little bit more survivability. And then we have our last commendation set, and that's within the surface. Again, there are 2 new commendations for incursion and countdown. Starting with countdown, this is the countdown big spender. Spend 1,000 countdown requisition tokens, and that's pretty easy. If you just run a few countdowns, just with a group, for example, on challenging, what is in our opinion the best way to run a countdown, then you only have to run 4 or 5 countdowns in total to get that 1,000 points. And then make sure that you spend those countdown points at the countdown vendor, and you will get this countdown big spender pretty easy. So again, you can do this solo as well. Just start one at normal, but now you have to clear that whole countdown by yourself. But it's a lot more fun in teams. So for this one, just go into countdown and go into some matchmaking and play 4 or 5 countdowns. Make sure that you of course pick up all those hunter tags. Make sure that you at least do 2 of those objectives before you're going out to that extraction. Those are the most points for you, and you can probably do it in an hour to an hour and a half. And then the last one, and that's for the incursion as well, and this is the Incursion X Award. Complete the Incursion Paradise Lost 10 times, and this will come whenever. Again, you cannot do this solo, or at least not a lot of people can do the incursion solo, but you need to defeat it 10 times. Again, there are a lot of communities out there that will love to help with incursions to get those 10 clears, or even to get that perfect incursion run. Same as for us, so just jump over to Twitch/IamPurePrime, hit me up with a follow, and the next time we are live, just talk to us and I can give you some information when we run our next incursion, or I can show you to other communities that will give you that clear. And that's pretty much it. A little bit longer video for today, but these are all the new commendations that were added with TU20 and TU20.1. So you can get most of those solo like I showed you, and a few you have to do in a team, or you will get it eventually whenever, for example, you cleared that incursion 10 times. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments down below if you have more tips for the agents, or did you know this already? Did you get all the commendations already? Or was this again one of the prime tips? And of course, like the video if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form. And if you're new here and or you want to be updated about the Division 2, the Division universe and the future Division 3 because it is announced, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you in the next one. PurePrime out.